And we are live with session 72 of our Drowned Gods campaign. We don't have any Akalupa notes today, so we will not be getting started with them. But otherwise, as usual, everyone, please reset your hero point pools to 1. And who would like to give the recap of last session for an extra hero point?
Like nobody, and I mean like nobody wants to do it. I'll do it.
I need to get like the what's the what show is that? Jeopardy?
Jeopardy.
There we go.
Yeah, I need to get the Jeopardy waiting music for whenever I ask that question.
Go for it, Abe. I believe in you.
Alrighty. So we cut to Mono being heroically saved from the watery depths by Delphine. Not coughing up water, because she can now breathe water. Everyone's like, whoa! So, like, are you like a mermaid? You can, like, breathe underwater? She's like, yeah. That's why I don't need to sleep, because I'm like a dolphin.
Well, she didn't point that part out. I did, out of character.
Yeah, God pointed it out. His special revelation. No, and then after that, we all, I think it was generally just asking her about her experience, what it's like to live under the sea, what her society's like, how she ended up where she was.
Yeah, that came a little bit later, because at this point you guys had been, fighting for your lives during a bad storm for over 48 hours. So first thing, after, the basic acknowledgement of what was going on and coming to terms with it, was that everyone went to sleep while Delphine and Gur were in charge of the ship.
She kind of went a little, I don't want to say power crazy, but she did have an entire crew of water creatures.
Yeah, and stole your hat.
Yeah, and stole my hat.
Which you never noticed was missing. So that hat is still like kicked behind a barrel somewhere when she hit it.
I mean, you're not wrong. Anyway, so we all got up, kind of talked to her about, again, kind of just inquired about how she's able to do some of her things. Found out she's not just any typical mermaid, but she's got, like, not all mermaids have her powers, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, her ability to control water and especially fire is not something that is, like, common to mermaids.
We're, like, 90% sure her dad was the king and got challenged and probably died. Or I should say, Mono Anui is 90% sure, because she seemed awful sad when talking about the processes for getting a new monarch. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think of the important information. I don't think she gave us any like major warnings. Like hey, whatever you do.
So she did. She did a few actually.
Oh, she did.
And she described her city as being like a giant bazaar with all these shops and things. She said that once you are on city grounds, you are fairly safe, but when you are outside of the city, especially in the outskirts, she implied that can be quite dangerous in that area. She also said to make sure that you are polite and that you stay out of people's personal space.
Makes sense. I mean, basically just like Germany. I'm just kidding. And what else?
You had the Gur was baking spices.
Oh, well, he made a, oh my goodness. I can go get her if you need to change that. Okay. Sorry, my daughter is setting to kick on the wall for some reason.
Nice.
Going into this here. Anyway, she decided to he decided to, I think, make a lot of things into just like one giant concoction.
Yeah, he basically took all of the spices on your ship and just poured them into a pot and smashed them together.
And then we
was...
found in that concoction somehow, a coin from Dolphin's people.
Yep.
But it was like very, very well used, a very well loved coin. According to Gur, he found it in a fish, which is interesting. Maybe owed taxes. I don't know. And then what else?
Delphine invited you to come with her to the city to visit her family.
Very, very eagerly accepted that invite. I don't think there's actually that much hesitation, which is, like for like maybe being taken to our watery graves. Maybe a little bit more caution, but
Yeah. Now Mako, as the ever the level-headed one of the group, did have some reservations, including just being like, I kind of like breathing, and so that's a problem with visiting your city.
Yeah. And we found out that she can just like give us underwater breathing without having to, go all mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because I don't know. Some of you might have been a little disappointed. Of course, I don't think anyone other than Mono Inui knows how she did it to Mono Inui when she saved her. But yes, no, she did. She did not need to lock lips with anyone else before you headed under.
Little sus, interesting.
Yeah, and there is an explanation for that, by the way.
I believe it. No, I mean, out of character, I believe it. Mono Inui is scattered doubts. And then what else happened?
I asked you guys, and I'm going to give you the chance to retcon this. I asked you guys what preparations you were making and what you were going down with, and you guys didn't come up with anything other than your gear and the Triton's conch. And since you're going down there to a giant trading area, I assume you guys probably want to bring something to trade. So I will give you another chance to rethink that decision before we start today's session.
We should bring Piku. I bet you that stuff is very valuable.
But we'll get to that after the recap.
Okay. And then what else? I think Mono Inui, she was doing something, and I don't remember what I had her do. I had her prepare something, though.
You guys did go through, you and Mako went through your spells and prepared potions respectively so that you could tailor them to underwater.
Gosh, I know it was just last week, but like I'm having, between that and then like the fight with the sharks, I don't remember a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything particular either that Mono Inui was doing. You guys kind of swam down. Only thing unusual that you noticed is that not only is this spell allowing you to breathe water and granting you a swim speed, it also seems to be giving you some sort of low light vision because your eyes were adjusting to the murky depths a lot better than they would normally.
Yeah. Which is, definitely, especially if you're going like, what is it, like more than 50? Is it 50 feet? What is it where like the light just like doesn't penetrate?
Let's see. Ocean Twilight Zone depth. Between 200 and 1,000 meters is the dystrophic zone, also known as the Twilight Zone. Low light intensity in the zone is severely reduced with increasing depth, so light penetration is minimal. So yeah, starting around 200 meters.
I wanted to say 200 feet, but I was like, that seems awful shallow.
Yeah.
Anywho, and then Mono Inui, being the sharp-eyed gal that she is, spotted some strange fishy things swimming towards us, and she pointed them out. He's like, "Hey, are those like, was good? That's your friend?" Dolphin's like, "No, they're totally coming to kill us."
Yeah, she's like, "Those are sharks."
Those are sharks. Sharks are not friends. They're not food either, so I don't know where it's going with that.
Sharks can be food.
I mean, they can. feel like I don't know. Feel like Akalupu's senior would like row back from wherever he went just to like tell us how horrible we were for eating his spirit animal.
Yeah, well, hopefully he doesn't think too poorly of his son for cutting one in half.
I mean,
because Junior absolutely destroyed that first shark.
100%. Like it like got pulverized. And then Manoa electrocuted Junior and the shark.
And himself,
which,
and herself.
Win-win. And herself. No, I think she avoided it.
Yeah, I don't remember what you rolled, but you did have to roll to not shock yourself.
But and then I think the other two were finished off by Macau and
Junior.
Did you just finish off the other one as well?
Yes, because you didn't quite kill the shark. Mako killed one, and Junior killed the first one in one shot, and then finished off the other one.
Yeah. I mean, Junior's a pretty big beast when it comes to tearing things in half.
Yeah, even without Underwater Marauder.
And then I believe that we left Gur and Burn Bright on the ship.
Correct.
Told them to
And
mind
Burn Bright said that he was going to spend the entire day lounging around in his underwear.
Yeah, that's right. To the great dismay of everyone's visual imaging.
Yeah. All right, yeah, so that
catches us up.
Indeed it does. So that does catch us up. As I alluded to earlier, though, I wanted to give you another chance to think about what you want to have brought down with you. Currently, all you have is your gear. I assume someone took the coin, even though that was not specifically called out, and the Triton's conch. So if you would like to bring any other trade goods with you, I will allow you to retcon that now.
Well, let me look at our inventory. Let me open that up. That's in the boats tab, right?
Yep. You don't have anything terribly interesting. You've got plenty of rope. You've got food, but maybe you kind of probably want the food, unless you want to trade the food for other food.
But don't we have the green lady attached to the pink lady? So you said we could use that storage as well? And that's how we have the pink lubes? No.
So the green lady was their main ship. That's the only reason anything is even in storage there. So no, you can't technically use you can't use a Russian nesting doll system of ships to get away with extra inventory.
Okay, fair enough.
But the pink lube, rather than being in your primary storage, is in Manoanui's room. Manoanui has been keeping it personally.
Personal stash. Look, man, no one else wanted to take it. That's all I'm saying. Like, this pink lube is going to be
only had 8 slots. I was like, we are not taking this stupid pink lube. But I knew that
pink lube is the salvation of us all.
I knew that Abe came up with a way to bring it anyway. That's funny.
Yeah. See, like I said, Mako, as always, the source of sensibility in the group.
Wisest 17-year-old. In the sea.
Yep. Welcome to your new family. They're a bit dysfunctional, but they love each other sometimes.
I did have a question. How does brewing, brewing things work? Can I, if I have downtime, can I just brew? Can I have more than one thing brewed at a time?
In your cauldron, or are you talking in general?
In general, can I brew something, bottle it, brew something else in downtime, bottle that, brew something else in downtime? You know what I mean?
If you learn that technology, then yes. However, the only reason you can currently brew is because you're doing it magically in your cauldron. You don't know about yeast or ABV or any of the required knowledge to be able to do brewing on your own in downtime.
No. So I brew it in the cauldron, right?
Yes.
And then once it's in the cauldron, I take some sort of container and I put what's in the cauldron in the container. And then now that the cauldron's empty, I use more magic to brew into something else. Does that make sense? Is that something I can do?
I have not fully read through Cauldron. I just thought it sounded like fun and gave it to you. So that was your homework, but I will read it now. Let's see. You can brew magic. You can brew magic in your cauldron, creating useful magical concoctions. You can use the craft activity to create oils and potions. You immediately gain the formulas for 4 common first level oils or potions, which I assume one of the ones you picked was that Caden's brew or whatever it was.
Correct.
At 4th level and every 2 levels beyond that, you gain formula for another oil or potion, blah, blah, blah. If you have a familiar, you can have your familiar learn the formulas rather than storing them in your formula book, which you have to do anyway, I think, as a witch. I don't even think you have a formula book.
Because I have a slot. It says cauldron potion / oils to prepare. And I can only select one at a time. All right. So I don't know if that means I can only be actively brewing one at a time.
Here we go. This looks like the section that would answer that question. During your daily preparations, you can create 1 temporary, keyword temporary, oil or potion using a formula you know. If you have a mastered proficiency in spell DC, you can create a batch of 2 temporary oils or potions during your daily preparations. If you have a legendary proficiency, you can do 3. Any items you create this way become inert bottles of liquid the next time you make your daily preparations, and any remaining effects of the temporary items end. A temporary oil or potion has no value.
Yeah, that was my question.
And that's why I just read you exactly what the rules say, because I was pretty sure they would answer it.
Yeah, it was like, can I just brew infinite stuff?
Right. Which is...
Hey, look, it wouldn't let me.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why that section is in the rules, because that's the first thing anyone who sees that is going to be thinking. All right, but Molly, your crafted potions, so not your I forget what they're called, but not the ones that are part of your daily preparations, but the ones that you've actually crafted and have in your inventory, those you could trade. And feel free to get creative, like even if it's not written down on something, if it's something you can reasonably say you would have on the boat, then I am down for you to take it with you.
Like the hat.
Yeah, you could sell Mama Nui's captain's hat while she's not looking. That is absolutely accurate.
But I wouldn't. I appreciate that we could. But I definitely was wondering about my crafted potions. I'll have to find out. I'll have to look again and make sure I know where those are.
Yeah. If you go into your inventory tab, so instead of combat, just look for the ones that are in gear, I think. I don't know, that's not where they put it. Well, easiest way would be to go to the build tab, then go to magic and alchemical items, and they're all listed there.
Okay, thank you.
And then it's going to be the ones under alchemical items. The ones under temporary items, I believe, are your infused ones. Yeah, they all say infused.
Yeah, okay, I see them now. Thank you.
No problem.
Remember, I know I had my... Oh, I'm going to bring my seeing stone. Not my seeing stone, my seeking stone.
Your homeward stone?
Yeah, that one.
All right, that one is going to be pointing back toward Dino Island.
Yeah. I'm just going to... Just in case, you never know when you need it.
Yeah.
Better to need it, have it, and not want it, than want it and not have it.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I wonder where that is.
Junior, are you going to bring your prototyped pinhole projector?
So I had a question about that. How can we bring, does our waterproofing stuff extend to, we have parchment or something?
No. You are not waterproofed in any way. You are just able to breathe water.
Didn't Delphine make it so that, we didn't get wet at some point?
At one point when she was fishing with Ip, she used her powers to keep them from getting wet so that he wouldn't catch her being a mermaid.
But that was water bending.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be a lot of water bending.
In the water, wet as hell.
Hey, can you just create a stasis field around all of us while we swim down?
When we fall, then, because there would be no
thousands
buoyancy.
of cubits of water. That's a good point. No, she just needs a water bend a passage straight down.
Technically, if she had air as one of her elements, she actually could do exactly that thing.
That would be kind of sick.
But she does not have air as one of her elements. And just moving the water out of the way at this depth would create a vacuum, not a pocket of air. So it would not end well for anyone involved.
A good point.
All right.
So I'm bringing my infused potions, or excuse me, my non-infused potions for trading.
Sweet. Would you, at some point on the ship, you would have had some downtime. So if you want to create like a couple extra ones, I think that would be perfectly fair. Give me a crafting roll. Let's see, just retroactively, how many potions you might have been able to create.
Joke. Back to my play tab. Oh my goodness. I'm doing dishes, so my hands are all wet, so my mouse pad isn't working. Okay, Here we go. Crafting. Roll. It's 29. Ayo.
Nice. All right, I will say with a 29, how many raises would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can make 4 potions of your choice.
Great.
That are, what level are your moderate potions? Level 2, I think? Moderate, level 3. All right, so you can make 4 potions of your choice up to level 3.
Your slots. Okay. Okay.
All right, so we've got that. Anything that Monoanui is bringing with her?
I don't actually have that much, which is interesting. And everything I do have, I don't think I want to I don't want to take that book.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got some like weird terrestrial bones of some sort of creature you could try to sell.
You know, I'm going to take some weird terrestrial bone creatures. I also have a onyx panther.
I don't remember where you got that from.
I don't either.
It's probably not important.
Probably. I seem to have like 2 formulas, one for the onyx panther and one for something called an aether or hold on, antler arrow.
So those are just like crafting recipes, not actually things that you have with you.
Oh, that would be correct, I think. Yes.
That answers the questions then. At some point you chose those.
If I can't take anything out of the cauldron, right? I have to take the whole cauldron down, correct?
You can take things out of the cauldron and even bottle them, but when you do your daily preparations, whatever was in those bottles turn to water and are worthless. So
it's like, oh, hey,
you could sell some things. You just might end up with some very upset customers afterward.
That's hilarious. Just be like a snake oil smell.
Or just be like, all right, here's the booze, but you have to drink it today.
You know what? Heck yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring down some of my King's Brew. It's not about bringing down. I've got like an octopus potion that I chose. I'm like, no, these people have no use for flying or turning to octopus, because some of them, if I'm being honest, they might be octopus.
Right. Some of them may be octopi as it is.
But everyone likes booze.
There you go.
And of course, we're bringing down the pink lube.
Did we decide whether or not Arthur Jr. inherited all of his dad's old rock collection?
I think that's what you decided, was that you got all of the old rocks, along with like the... Go ahead.
I was saying, did he leave behind his intimidating mask and his
Yes.
he left those behind?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure about the rocks because I had it written down in Hero Lab in a section that now no longer exists. So
Yeah. So no, I'll leave it up to you, or your choice, whether or not you want to have inherited the rocks.
cool. I think so. Because that's where the bloodstone stuff came from.
Yeah, and you definitely have the bloodstone. It's currently in your weapon.
Yeah. Man, it's kind of too bad that section's gone. I remember some of the rocks, but I don't remember all of them.
Yeah, you had a few talking rocks from the spirit world that no longer talk, sadly. You picked up some of the like bright white marble from the tower at the end of the spirit world. Other than that, I think it was mostly just random ones here and there.
Yeah.
Oh, and we should definitely bring that the thing that the little piece of metal from the tower.
I mean, you might have to talk to Ip about that. He's using it as his religious focus, so...
But he brings it with him everywhere he goes, right?
It's with him.
Well, there we go.
What do you want to do with it?
Well, just maybe get some answers about it, gauge its value. Yeah, just see what it's made of, sell it.
Oh my god.
Nothing.
Gonna take your religious item to Antiques Roadshow.
Pretty much.
I just think we'd all benefit from having a little bit more information about the Earth Mother, Spirit Mother, Great Mother, Sky Mother. Mom, as I like to call her.
The Great Coconut Tree.
The Great Coconut Tree.
All right. Speaking of it, is there anything that you're bringing down with you for trading?
No, I'm just a poor monk.
Yeah. Well, unless someone took it from you, you have the coin.
Oh, well then I have that.
All right. So yeah, we'll pick up.
Actually, technically, the richest one in the party.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hey.
So,
Didn't there used to be a spot in Hero Lab where you could put a description in like your profile under the build section?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I was looking for. Because I put a link to a document in there, to a Word document that kind of had the stuff that I was holding. But I can't find that section anymore.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's sad. That was all. That was all my question was.
Okay, in that case, I think we're done retconning. And we can continue on to whatever happens post shark attack, Thomas.
Thomas. He died. Rest
God
in
is
peace.
dead and we killed him!
Probably just his Blue Yeti saying it doesn't want to be a Blue Yeti.
testing. There we go. Yeah, no, it was my mic. I was talking for a while there. I was like, why is everyone ignoring me?
Oh my gosh. That was terrifying. Don't do that.
Yeah. No, my mic just randomly decided it didn't want to work because I bumped it. And
That's hilarious.
It does that sometimes. I don't know why. All right. Yes. So we are ready to pick back up. Sure. We'll pick up where we left off. You guys are. Yes.
Do I have any of the bloody? I just found the document. Do I have any of the bloody knees mushroom left?
At this point, definitely not in any sort of usable state. It would have to be like a desiccated powder by now.
You know, you could probably snort that in your nose.
You can give it a shot and see what happens. But yeah, I think you've used it all in one way or another, and there's no way any of it would be left from Ponyville.
Also, at some point, I think I took a medallion from Topple because I have 1x medallion.
It doesn't sound familiar.
But to be fair, there's also something that says 1x plant goo, so I don't know.
Yeah,
This has been a while since I accessed this list.
Yeah, so I believe that you did get a medallion at some point. I'm pretty sure it's not from Topple, because if you got it from Topple, it would probably be important, and I would probably remember it, but that's also a lot of probablys.
All right, well, I'm taking the medallion.
All right.
Wherever it's from.
Oh, you need to take better notes, because I certainly don't remember. Okay, yeah, so we'll pick up where we left off last time. You guys have just beaten off the attack of the sharks and suffered very little damage in return. And their bodies are slowly spinning and twisting in the water, releasing a cloud of blood in the area. Dolphin kind of rushes up to Junior, who has just extricated himself from the grapple that shark had on him after cutting its head off, or some other violent means of dispatching it. I don't remember exactly. And so she rushes up and is like, "Oh, are you okay?" And kind of starts checking your arm and everywhere to make sure that you're not damaged. Considering that the amount of damage that you took, I'm sure doesn't even come close to exceeding the temporary hit points you get from your I forget what it's called, the
rhomboid.
Rhomboid. That's it. It's like the only thing I could think of was spinal. That's a different thing. But yes, your rhomboid. Junior is entirely unaffected by the biting and gnashing of the shark. Maybe a few minor scratches. So yeah, he is completely fine. And after ascertaining that, Dolphin turns to the rest of the group and says, "Okay, well, we should probably get out of here quickly before the blood in the water attracts something, larger."
Don't have to tell me twice. Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
All right. So you guys resume your journey, it's not long before you are, some ways deeper. You can actually see the bottom of the ocean at this point. So this area of the ocean does not go, down into the abyssal zone. It seems to stop somewhere within the twilight zone. And you can see the bottom of the ocean. The entire area looks gray and lifeless to a large extent, though Dolphin explains that actually has more to do with the lack of, or the particular type of light that is actually able to make it to this depth. She doesn't understand the science behind it, but yeah, basically a lot of wavelengths of light are going to be blocked at these depths. And she says that with her vision, she actually can still see quite a bit of color even this far down. And she stops and says, "Well, we are more or less here. It should be along pretty soon, actually." And everyone should get yourselves ready.
Yeah, what's it?
Well, the city.
And it should be along. It's coming to us.
Yeah. Is that not normal?
Blown.
Usually our cities are stationary.
But, whatever
I,
floats. in your ocean is fine.
I suppose there are some races who live down on the ocean floor and stay in the same place for a long time. But no, the city, which I should have come up with a name for, I realize now, and never did. Sure. No, I'll come up with something better, hopefully. But anyway, the city is on the back of an enormous crab. I mentioned that we had a guardian for the city. That's part of the reason it's so difficult to track down. You really need one of these. And she holds up the homeward stone to be able to find it consistently.
Must be very
That makes
helpful.
some kind of sense.
Quick question, out of character. It's 3 days for a stone to attune, right?
Correct.
Cool. No particular reason. Just wondering.
Yep. And whether or not your particular homeward stone would even attune to, a city on the back of a crab is very much in question.
Interesting to see.
Yeah, she says, yeah, and it should be along pretty soon. Krusty moves pretty quickly this time of year with the warm water currents and everything. Plenty of good eating through this section of the ocean.
Krusty the crab.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to be ready. Once it starts getting close, we'll want to get on quickly. And like I said, the exterior of the city, the kind of outlying areas they're a bit of a free-for-all. So we're going to want to get into the city's bounds as quickly as possible.
So speaking of the city, is there a place where we'll stay there?
Well, there are inns if we're looking for temporary housing, and perhaps my mother would be willing to look after everyone for a while and let us stay with her, but I'm not certain.
Does your father have a house?
My father's dead, as I've mentioned more than once.
Has you mentioned it more than once?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Oh, that's right. Is your father out of the house? I didn't think so, because he's dead.
Right.
You know, father.
He went to the grocery store for milk and cigarettes, and we never saw him again.
It's so dark.
No, he's just with Mako's father.
Sad but true.
The great coconut in the sky. Well, good thing your mother doesn't live in the outskirts, I guess.
Well, no one really lives permanently in the outskirts. It's kind of a wash of currents stirred up by the crab, and a variety of, unseemly types tend to frequent them, along with some creatures that get washed up into the mix. Well, is everyone ready?
I think so. I guess we'll just follow your lead when it comes to getting on. Anything we should know particularly?
Well, like I said, move quickly, don't get caught up, and if anyone tries to talk to you, don't acknowledge them. Just keep moving. I have learned the hard way that never ends well.
No.
All right, so as she's saying that, you all start to feel a tremor in the water around you, kind of a vibration at a steady clip. And after a few moments, you can see slowly looming out of the gloom. The view distance underwater is significantly shorter than it is on land. So by the time you're able to see it, it's already actually surprisingly and worryingly close to you. But you see just an enormous shape. It must be only the leg of the crab, but the thing is like a mountain as it comes rushing through the water and then slams into the ocean bed below, gouging out a deep hole. And you can feel the vibrations of other limbs moving, but can't even see them through the gloom as the creature is so large. And so she says, all right, go, and begins swimming toward it. And I will need an athletics check from everyone to see how well you manage the currents swirling around this creature.
22.
Got it.
Oh, yeah. You said athletics? 19.
Correct. It's not bad.
Considering I only have a
25.
+1.
Oh, nice.
All right, 25 for Mako.
Yes.
26.
All right. Delphine is a strong enough swimmer. She doesn't even need to make the check, but I guess I should probably make her do it anyway, just for fairness. So,
See if she gets a nat 1.
right, exactly. But her swim speed is high enough that she's generally pretty good. All right, she got a 20. Okay. So yeah. You all go off following Delphine. She seems to be swimming a bit slower than her maximum speed to allow you all to keep pace with her, because otherwise she would very much leave you in the dust. And you go rushing in toward this creature, and you can see as you are starting to get closer, you can now see lights in the murk ahead of you. And these are all these various colored points of light diffusing softly into the water around them. And as these lights are coming a little closer, you're finally able to see a bit more of the creature and the colors around you. And you can see that indeed, as Delphine described, the ocean life on the floor around you is not gray and lifeless as it once seemed. Now that more light is reaching it, it is as colorful and vibrant as any tropical reef that you have run across before now. Not quite as lively in terms of fish, but still very much plenty of life down here. You can see as the crab's feet slam into the ground, all of the various creatures scattering in every direction. And you can see the crab, which is red in color, and seems to have these enormous chitin plates, even thicker than the walls of a castle. And you can see, as you appear to be to its right, as it is moving toward you, and its face would be facing toward you. Massive claws, reach out once again far out of view. But every once in a while, you see it seems to pluck something out of the ocean bed and bring it toward its mouth and gobble it down. And as you are approaching the creature, you find yourselves indeed, as described, caught up in a bit of a maelstrom of currents moving in all directions as the creature moves along. And most of you are able to make it through pretty cleanly. But you find yourselves battered a bit and split off from the group.
What? I rolled so well.
Yeah, but it was under
Such
20.
a weakling.
It was under 20. You just barely missed the DC on that one. So yeah, everyone else finds themselves, panting and more or less safe as Delphine has led you onto the back of this creature and has found a quiet spot. It seems that on top of the shell is sheltered enough that the currents are much calmer here. You are being knocked around. Give me a D6.
6.
All right. So that would mean you are knocked off to the like toward it and left. So you are further to the left than the rest of the group. Or if you are using the crab to give directions, you have been knocked clockwise, further away from the group. Assuming you are the back of the I'm just gonna draw it. Why am I trying to describe this? All right. Back of crab. Legs is.
It's like stage directions. It's like, are we crab left or crab right?
Right. All right. Crab eyeballs. Crab pinchers. You guys are, most of the group is here. And Ip was knocked this direction. All right. Hopefully that clarified my random ramblings.
I think I just like yoinked myself, so I was trying to like adjust my screen, but it's a touch screen.
All right.
Dolphin, help me.
So you say that, and you find yourself, suddenly slamming into something. You turn around, and it appears to be a large gray-skinned figure with the head of a hammerhead shark. And the body of a very athletic male, and he grins at you with a wide, toothy grin and says, "No dolphin's gonna be helping you here, boy."
Oh, thank goodness. You're here to save me.
Sure is. You must be new around these parts. What kind of creature is you anyway? I ain't seen something like you, he says as he swims around you in a circle, examining every inch.
Oh, just your typical swamp monster.
I see, a swamp monster. And he kind of grabs your chin and pulls your lips away. Healthy and young, too.
Well,
you still got all your teeth, even.
Very proud of them.
And not all creatures is as lucky as we sharks with the ability to just, grow up more when we lose our teeth.
Well, all the more reason that I should keep mine.
Oh, indeed. Wouldn't do to hurt the merchandise, now would it?
Merchandise?
Figuratively, like when you call someone a dish.
A dish?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
someone you wanna eat, but not in like the way you's probably thinking, but the sexual kind of eating.
Oh,
no.
This is the bad place.
Oh, it's not so bad here. We got all kinds of stuff we can do around here. Why don't I show you around? You wanna come see old man Gumbo's house? He did not call himself Old Man Gumbo.
I love that this shark is from New Orleans.
All right, fine. His name is Old Man Gumbo. I can't think of anything better anyway. I'm terrible with coming up with names on the fly, in case no one has noticed.
I love it. He's clearly Cajun.
Come on.
No, thank you.
Hey, you're lost. Where you's headed anyway?
Oh, just over to the, right.
To the right. I've heard that is a good direction, You wouldn't want to go to the wrong.
Amen.
All right, so, unbeknownst to you, you've been continuing to float further and further away from the crab in this time. You will probably have noticed that by now, though.
Yes. So I'm gonna start swimming towards the direction of my friends.
Oh, you got friends, do you? Well, maybe you introduce old man Gumbo here.
Oh, they're just the kind of friends that would beat anybody up who tried to do anything to me.
I'm sure. And he kind of grabs your spindly little forearm, or not the forearm, but your bicep, and says, "Yeah, if there's anything like you, I don't think I'm too worried, though."
Oh, don't worry, they're not.
All right, are you trying to intimidate him?
Nope. I'm just trying to move while he's pestering me.
He's now got a hold of your biceps, so that's going to be difficult.
Okay, I'm going to cast Harm.
You have a spell called Harm?
I do.
I love that.
All right. If you want to try and surprise him, you can roll deception. Otherwise, you're going to go into normal initiative order.
Yeah, I'll roll deception. I want him to think that touching me has actually caused him harm, not that I am casting a spell.
All right. That is definitely a case for deception then.
Good thing my deception is strong +0. 16.
All right. Let's see what he gets.
Just turning his old man Gumbo.
What is his... I assume it's perception? Let's see. Yeah, perception. All right. And he has a +8. $27.
Oh, balls.
So he is not fooled, and you are going to go into initiative order if you attempt to cast that spell. So he's going to notice it immediately, like, "Oh, careful there, boy! I wouldn't be, casting any fancy magics around old man Gumbo if I were you." If you want to continue, you will be going into initiative and combat.
So I see you are schooled in the ways of magic.
Well, I've been around a few of you fancy little flippin' types, swing around the wand, say humbo gumbo, cast a spell.
Oh, well, I guess I better not do that around you then. You caught me.
Yeah, I knew you was an intelligent boy out here.
But...
Oh, chicken butt.
How about you bring me over that way? And I point to the left, where my friends aren't.
Why we go over there in the open ocean? We float away too far, and old Mr. Krusty gonna leave us behind.
Oh, then we better go the other way.
Yeah, come with old man Gumbo. Go, I'll show you the city. All right. So now we'll cut to everyone else. So all of you gasping, panting, after a short but intense period of exertion. Delphine has led you, like I said, to a calm area on the back of the crab, and you can see there's an area of about probably 100 feet or so from the very edge of the crab toward the middle of it, and shortly after that 100 feet, you can see large pillars that have been crafted onto the crab. The crab itself, its back is this same red chitin that you saw on the legs and claws, except everything in this area also seems to have these structures attached almost like barnacles onto the massive barnacles onto the back of the creature. And there is what you can see is a semicircle along the edge of the crab. Of these very large pillars atop of each one, well, not pillars so much as towers, but semantics. And atop of each one, you can see a shape almost like a bell tower, except instead at the top is an enormous glowing jellyfish type creature, which seems to be contained inside of a cage. These creatures are giving off the brilliant light show that you were seeing as the crab was approaching. And, looking at them more closely, you can see them, shimmering and shifting along their body with all of these various colors, greens and reds and purples and every hue of the rainbow. Have you seen those fish where it's kind of like it pulses in a line along the creature? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That looks like that all along the creature. And these are giving off a light that easily illuminates the area around you. And then as soon as you get past these towers, everything turns into a huge mix of tents. There don't seem to be a whole lot of permanent structures. It's largely tents that are secured down onto the creature itself. The tents themselves are various sizes. You can see some that are massive circus tent sized buildings, while some others are a little more than the equivalent of a lean-to set up very simply. The complexity and quality of the tents does definitely seem to increase the further you go in toward the center of the crab, while the areas near you are a little bit more shantytown-ish. But yeah, so Dolphine says, "Okay, quick, everyone, we should get inside the city boundary before anything happens."
Roll perception to see if I notice if if Poipip is gone.
Yes, everyone may now roll perception to see if they notice that a Poipip is gone.
23.
Of course, I guess actually this isn't something you would roll. This would be based off of your passive perception, because none of you know that you should be looking for it. So highest passive
the real question is, did they realize
here.
that the entirety of their wealth is now gone?
Well, they're monetary wealth, but to be fair, this group has not been used to trading, currency for valuables.
I mean, if Old Man Gumbo's to be believed, we've got some fine stock.
Indeed. There's definitely some value in this group here. But yeah, so Ip actually would have had the highest passive perception with a 23. Second highest is Manawa Nui with a 20. I'd say there's a decent chance. I'm going to say it's a 50-50. So go ahead and roll a D20 or whatever die you want. Just pick high or low. And you have to pick it before you roll it, obviously.
Or lower than 10?
What die are you going to roll?
If I can find a die case. Oh, there we go. I guess a D20.
All right. And high or low?
High.
All right. Roll
okay,
it.
I'm not rolling a D20. I'm rolling a D10, and I'm picking high again.
All right.
I don't know where my D20 went. I got a 9.
That's not good considering it's the most important one, and you picked high?
Well, I mean, that's probably why it's not, yeah.
All right, then you do notice that Ip is gone.
Hold on, guys.
I did not notice.
Where's the toy pit?
Oh no, did he not make it through the currents?
I don't know. I think he was bringing up the rear.
Oh my god, we got separated!
It's not good. I don't know. The odds of finding him back out there in the currents are fairly low. I don't know how we would find him. Do you have a way to contact him at distances, or should we try to meet up?
I think I have to be able to see him. Hold on. I'm like 90% certain I have to be able to see for a message.
It's only 120 feet.
Yeah, I think you're well beyond that.
Yeah.
I already thought of that one.
All right, I am going to. All right, so I guess I'm gonna. So what's the likelihood? What's the most likely thing that could happen if he's didn't
Floating
make it?
around out there, yeah, untethered.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
assuming he didn't get pulled in somewhere and crushed, which could happen, but it's unlikely, then either he would have been pushed away from the crab or to another spot on it, or perhaps he ran into some of the creatures out there. I did warn everyone not to talk to anyone, so hopefully he didn't, run into any creatures of ill repute out there. He's
a pretty bright boy. A bit naive, but pretty bright.
Yeah.
This is
So our best
terrible.
bet-
We're never gonna find him. I'm like freaking out because this is by far the biggest city I've ever been to.
Definitely.
If he is not crushed, I'm going to say that part a little bit lower tone so that hopefully Macau doesn't hear. We're probably most likely to find him in the city. It seems to me, but you're the native.
Or
you would know.
if we could, or if he would go back to the boat, I suppose we really should have planned for this before we came in. Some sort of backup plan for if we got separated.
Well, I'm going to leave a message rune right here. I'm gonna find some sort to tell him that where are we going actually?
We're going to her mom's house, right?
Yeah,
Can we
can.
leave him the address?
What's an address?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is there some central point in the city?
Oh, yes, certainly. And she points toward the center of the city where there is a massive tent that dominates even the other larger tents that you can see. It appears to be partially permanent and partially a tent. Like parts of it are made out of these massive stone pillars, and then other parts are still just draped fabric.
Make the
That'd
plan
probably
to
be
be there.
that'd probably be the most common place that most citizens of this place would know of. You would say?
Well,
Is it
it
cool?
certainly does stand out. So,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave a rune to let him know to meet us at the central. A message rune is you can leave it and if I can click into it. Nope, not grease. Silly.
just leave him some
Silly.
grease.
He'll understand. He knows what it means. I can record up to a 5-minute long message and inscribe it onto a special rune on any flat, unattached surface within reach. The nature of the rune's appearance is up to you, but it's visible to everyone. It must be no smaller than 2 inches in diameter. You may also specify a trigger that the creature must meet to activate the rune. For the duration of the spell, the creature who meets with the criteria of the trigger can touch the rune to hear the recorded message in their head as if though you're speaking to them telepathically. You know when someone is listening to the message, but you don't know who's listening to it, you can dismiss the spell.
All right.
So since this is probably where he'd come to look for us, and this is around the entrance of the city, I'd assume?
You guys are, I assume, still just outside of the city boundaries. So,
Okay.
you're still, unless you have moved since Dolphine spoke initially, you guys are still
Probably
about
not.
100 feet away from the pillars that mark the city boundary or border.
I'm gonna ask you, is there some main entrance that most people would take?
Not really. I mean, you can kind of come in and she gestures like in a full loop, both above and around her. You can kind of come in from anywhere.
Well, I'm gonna leave then message ruin here. And if the Star Mother is good, trying to keep the sarcasm out of my tone, then hopefully he'll happen across it. Alright, I'm gonna start carving my rune. Otherwise I don't see any other option.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure that we'll be
haystack.
able to find each other.
So I'm gonna carve my rune. I'm gonna leave my message, which is gonna be something like, "Hey, Poi Pip, we will meet you at the center of the Grand Pavilion in the middle of the city."
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
But not too much.
Anyway. So not too much. Keep it professional here. I know I knew your moms and your dad. The rune looks like a the Star Mother symbol.
All right.
I figured that would draw his eye.
Oh yeah.
And then my criteria is he has to be. So it says, okay, you can also specify a trigger that the creature must meet in order to activate the rune. Can I say the creature must be a certain race?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, he has to have at least some pony blood in him.
Unicorn.
Unicorn.
Pony
no
blood.
Stinking ponies.
That sounds like a slur. You just
Right?
made up.
Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna make it about like a foot big because it said it has to be at least 2 inches big. So
Yeah.
I assume that means it can be rather large. So I'm gonna make it about like a foot big.
All right. And where are you putting it?
I'm putting it on. Are there any large stones?
I mean, if there's pillars that are kind of marking the opening of like the start of the city, maybe you should put it near the pillars.
Can I do that?
I mean, physically, is that what you're asking?
Well, I mean, like, if I go up to start carving a rune on these pillars, does Dolphine like say, "Oh my gosh, you sacrilegious"?
I mean, if you go up to the pillars and start you can go up to the pillars if you want to know that answer, but you can't ask me to tell you the future of a thing you haven't done.
But like, if you looked into the future, hypothetically
Just
speaking,
ask Dolphine.
Yeah, I am not going to answer that question. I'm not going to tell you the result of a thing you haven't done.
All right, so I'm gonna go up to the pillar and start carving my rune on it.
All right, so as you approach the pillars, you can see that there are a variety of very serious looking and extremely burly mermen carrying tridents.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to look for a large stone or some sort of large, like something that's not the shell of the crab. If that makes sense.
So you find a massive, oversized barnacle. We'll say 25 to 30 feet away from one of the pillars.
I'm going to carve it on that. I'm going to take some of my pink lube and I'm going to try and like pigment it with the pink lube.
All right. Well, you're underwater, so the pink lube dissolves.
Well, fine.
into the water around you, but you are able to carve the symbol in. And it glows.
Okay, sweet. That was gonna be my question. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the
There we
symbol
go.
glows, doesn't it?
I think it does, but I'm trying to read the.
Well, it says the nature of the rune's appearance is up to you, but it's visible to everyone. So I would say that you can choose to make it glow.
It's gonna glow. It's gonna glow.
All right. Are you putting it facing away from the guards where they can't see what you put down?
Yeah, facing outwards towards the ocean.
All right.
Like, so anybody who's coming in from like the ocean, or maybe being brought in by a slaver, hypothetically speaking, could see it.
Alrighty. So yeah, you do that. Go ahead and roll me a reflex save.
Alrighty. Doo-doo. Reflex. Nope, not fortitude. 27.
All right. You said a 27?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's roll this here. Actually, no, I can't even roll high enough. You're safe. So, as you're, after you carve it in and you're kind of admiring your work, the barnacle suddenly whips out a strange cilia-covered tentacle toward you and tries to grab you.
Yikes.
It is a giant barnacle. Luckily, you step back in time and are able to avoid it.
Gotta get them reps in. And I don't know how you improve your reflexes. I feel like that's just something you're born with.
There you go.
So, sorry, not sorry. Just born this way.
Yeah, you're able to swish out of the way in time and swim back to the rest of the group.
All right. Hopefully he'll see that and has better reflexes.
We're as good of reflexes. You avoided it, so he doesn't need better reflexes.
This is true.
Here's hoping that the guy with me has worse reflexes.
Yeah, just gotta tell him, like, hey, look, that's a great value.
There you go.
Magic mumbo jumbo. Anywho. Alright, well, I feel like there's nothing more to be done. And if he does find it, he'll be looking for us at the pavilion, so lead onwards.
All right, yeah, we should get in. And as she says that, you guys notice some figures starting to congregate around the area that you're in. That might make you feel a little unsafe.
That's not concerning at all.
No, definitely not. All right, so yeah, you guys make your way post haste toward the entrance to the city. And one of the guards, starts to kind of like step toward you, or well, he doesn't step, he swims toward you. But then once he gets close, he kind of like does a double take and then just swims back to his spot.
What was that all about?
He
asked Dolphin.
Well, he might have recognized me.
Oh, are you?
It's better that way. At least now he won't ask, what you are.
Are you some person of prominence here?
Well, I don't know if is or was would be more accurate.
Oh? I ask in a questioning tone.
Come on, we'd better get in.
Wizardly ask.
She is so cagey.
I'm gonna let her keep her secrets for now, but I'm a questioning.
All right, so you guys make it in shortly after entering the borders of the city. You can see that the figures that were slowly making their way toward you seem to disperse. No longer interested, even though someone does go over. You can see someone, messing around, poking at the symbol that you left behind, but evidently they do not have primarily unicorn blood, so it doesn't do anything. And then after a minute, you see the wisp from the barnacle reaches out and grabs the figure, and there's a short tussle before the figure manages to free themselves and swim away. Yeah, you find yourselves in a rather bustling place, even here at the edge of the city, and it appears to only get busier the further you head in. And looking around you, there are all kinds of various aquatic species. There's a decent number of them, though certainly not the majority are merfolk, but there are all kinds of other creatures, including a few you recognize, such as land sharks and the like. But many others that are much less familiar to you. And they come in all shapes and sizes, some of them more humanoid, some of them very much less so. There are giant cephalopods wandering around and poking their tentacles in, as they wander the area. And as you start going in toward the center of the city, there are no roads per se, as most of the traffic just happens above the tents themselves. So the tents are packed in rather tightly, especially in the outskirts, and various people are going about their business. A few beggars are there, asking, can you spare a coin for an old octopus with only 7 legs? And so Dolphin says, well, at least we've made it inside. We should be safe here. Just like I said, don't bother anyone, and they should leave you alone. Fighting is mostly prohibited inside of the city grounds unless it's a formal challenge, and, well, just try to avoid getting to that point.
Who cares if we're okay? Ip is lost out there all alone.
If I'm trying to calm somebody down, aside from actually saying things, would that be a roll?
Probably diplomacy.
Sweet. As I say this, I'm gonna try and roll diplomacy. I'm gonna say, Ip is he's pretty not thrifty. What's the word I'm looking for?
He can take care of himself.
Yeah, he can take care of himself. He's a pretty resourceful lad. I'm sure he'll be okay. Well, I'm sure we'll meet him soon, sooner rather than later. And I got a 21.
All right. Well, you can't force anyone to do anything with a roll if they're also a PC. So take that how you will, Molly, in your feelings about being comforted.
I appreciate that. But yeah, that's good. 21 is good, and you're my captain. So if the grown-ups are chilling, I'm gonna try and chill.
Just gonna give her a reassuring pat.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just nothing we can really do at this point. If we go out there and try to look for him in those currents, we're just likely to make things even worse.
Well, let's get to the main pavilion then and wait for him, because that's what we told him to do.
Yeah. If we want to look for him, we could certainly start scouting the edges of the city. Presumably, he would have to come in from somewhere in the area, unless he comes in from above.
Well, I trust you would know the way the main thoroughfares on, if that is even something that would be here.
What would be here?
Well, if there would be main thoroughfares on and off.
No, not really. Like I said, because people just swim, all of the traffic just happens above the tents. So there is no real like central areas. You can kind of just go as the crow flies, so to speak, more or less anywhere.
Mm-hmm. But first, I think we should probably find a place of lodging. I'm not sure how long we'll have to be here till we find a poi pip, but it'd be nice to have a place, a base of operations.
All right, so as you guys are talking, we will cut back to Ip. So
gonna be eaten and his teeth are gonna be sold.
That's right. They're like 40k orcs. They just want the teeth because that's currency. Just need teeth.
I mean the shark's teeth grow back, so
well, so do the orc's teeth.
It would make a good exactly. So it's like makes sense as a currency.
Yep. All right, so the guy had been leading you back toward the city. He says, "All right, here we go, boy. We go to old man Gumbo's house, and I'll show you around. Give you a tour of the city since you're new here and all."
That sounds great. I'd love a tour of the city.
Yeah, maybe we run into those friends of yours, and they can join in too. It'd be a good time, right?
We'll have a party.
Yeah. Oh man, Gumbo loves him a good party. So he leads you back in, he says, "All right, I'm gonna hold on to you tight here as we go through the currents, boy. We don't want you washing away again like last time. You almost knocked your little noggin, didn't you?" He pats you on the head.
I am just gonna go with the flow. I'm not resisting as long as he's taking me towards the city.
All right, so he grabs you in both arms, and then very rapidly and with clear like strength, he goes bounding through the water, and soon you find yourselves through the current, and you can see the city ahead of you. As I described before, the towers, the glowing creatures, all that kind of fun stuff. However, as he approaches the border of the city, he gets a very different greeting than the last group. One of the guards walks up and says, "Halt! What business do you have here in the city?" "Oh, I just bring in an old friend to come and see the city. He traveled a real long way to come in through here. Isn't that right, boy?"
Oh yeah, that's totally the truth.
It's stranger danger, Jason.
And what exactly...
That's what I say out loud, but then I cast message toward the guard and say, "This man is a criminal and is abducting me."
All right. So he hears that in his ear, and he kind of looks at you and raises an eyebrow and is like, "And what exactly are you?"
"Oh, I'm just your run-of-the-mill swamp creature. I'm from, over way north in the marshes of Atlantis."
I don't believe Atlantis has marshes, considering it's underwater. And marshes are shallow water on land.
You know, the swamp water surrounding the city. People don't like to talk about that because Atlantis has such a good reputation, but there's lots of us swamp creatures around.
Do you want to come up with something that's not like an obvious fabrication that is going to be seen through no matter how you spin it? Because you're saying
Atlantis
things
wasn't real.
No, Atlantis is real, and he knows what Atlantis is.
Oh,
and everything you're saying is like basically like going up to someone and saying the sky is green and the grass is blue.
I thought that this was supposed to be like Atlantis, so I was going to make up a different city called Atlantis.
No, this is not Atlantis. There is an actual Atlantis. There's also a city called Canterlantis, but that's a whole other story.
Well, then my lie ends at, oh yeah, I'm just a swamp creature from up.
All right. So give me a deception check.
Oh no, not again.
He's just too honest.
Right?
We're hero pointing that. 17.
All right. So this guy has. Actually, I think I'm gonna let Old Man Gumbo try to help you out here. Go. All right, well, he got a little bit better than a 17.
Old Man Gumbo's rolling out of his mind.
He has a very high deception, to be fair.
I wonder why.
So he's like, yeah, he's one of them swamp creatures, you know. He came from all the way up on the surface where they live in like shallow water, and it's all sad and lonely there, and it's like covered in green slime. And, you know, I just wanted to show him what the big wide ocean be like. And the guard kind of snorts, but seems fairly convinced. And so then he looks at you and he says, well, do you have anything else to say? This man seems to be interested in your well-being from everything I can see.
Oh yeah, he is just super friendly since the moment I met him. And then I cast message again and say, no, seriously, he told me he's gonna sell my body.
Did he though?
I mean, pretty much.
So he looks at you, and you can tell that he doesn't like you. And so he's torn between absolutely believing you because he's vaguely aware of Old Man Gumbo and absolutely knows this is something that Old Man Gumbo would do, and also not knowing if he cares about you enough to do anything.
Oh, they must have actual probable cause to look in the trunk.
So I'll let you roll diplomacy, if you would like to try and convince him of a course of action.
I think you're right. I think it's a drug kit.
Okay, diplomacy, huh? Also a big fat 0. 12.
He's good for praying, not for preaching.
So he's just gonna glare at you because I believe message, it is fairly clear who sent it. I don't think it's like...
Yeah, I mouthed the words.
Yeah.
But so I'm assuming Old Man Gumbo can't see my lips.
Yeah, we'll assume that you're doing it in such a way, even though I should actually make you roll stealth or deception for that, but I won't. I'm not that mean. But yeah, so he looks very, very skeptical. And like I said, I think it appears to be more that he just doesn't like you enough to bother doing anything. And so he'll just like glare at you and say, "Don't cause any trouble." And then look meaningfully also at Old Man Gumbo, and then waves you forward.
Typical cops. Totally useless.
Well, glad we got past that little misunderstanding. I told you that they might be a little confused by the way you look, because, not many creatures like you. Swamp monster, yeah, swamp monster.
Yeah, seems like we're not very welcome around here.
Oh, it's just anything strange and unusual they look askance at, because, you never know what's going to try to, eat you or something. But I'm sure you are in no danger. You don't seem too dangerous to me, at least.
Oh, that's good. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Oh, I guess they don't have flies down here. I wouldn't hurt a guppy.
Oh, yeah. Guppies are freshwater, by the way.
Damn it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even eat I wouldn't harm a plankton. All right, let's go. Now they let us in, now we're free to go about our business. So you start heading in, and you can see, actually give me a perception check.
24.
All right. So you can see in the distance a figure that you're pretty sure is Dolphine. You can spot her mostly because of her glowing purple and green scales. So it's either Dolphine or some other mermaid with the same scale patterns.
Are they within 120 feet of me?
Given the view distances underwater,
500?
They're definitely within 500 feet.
Because heightened third message goes up to 500 feet.
All right, yeah, definitely if you heighten it to third level, you would be able to reach them.
Yeah, so I'll cast message and say, Dolphine, turn around. I'm back here.
So Dolphine says, so cutting back to all of you, you guys are just discussing, getting some lodging or something, when Socially goes, "Oh, I heard his voice. He says he's behind us." And you all turn around, and Dolphine, with her eyes being adapted for viewing underwater, can definitely see you. And she goes, "Guys, he's over there. Some sort of hammerhead creature's got him. I think it's a land shark."
Then we have to go get him.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, everyone is going to rush over.
Manamanu is like, yeah, I guess so.
Hey, Manamanu.
Do we have to
try and find him?
All right, so yeah, everyone rushes over pretty quickly, and Old Man Gumbo's not in a hurry, it doesn't seem, so he doesn't really notice until the group is getting a little close, and he turns over and goes, "Oh, these your friends? Some of them look a lot like you."
No idea who these people
Mm-hmm. They seem to be coming right this way, and your deception is 0, so I know you're lying.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Man, because I don't actually know his name.
Oh, I'm Old Man Gumbo. I told you that several times.
Oh, that's actually your name?
Well, that's what everyone calls me anyway.
Well, what's your name?
Oh, my name is, what's a hammer pun? Mr. P. It's a ball and peen hammer. That's the worst thing I can come up with.
Pick something else. Don't do that.
Yeah. What are those hammers that have like the counterbalance in them so that they don't like bounce back when you hit something? Anyway, I'm gonna go with.
I do not know enough about hammers.
My name is Sledge.
Well, Sledge, I do actually know these people, and they are going to beat you up.
Well, not very nice. I only help you, and you telling me that they's gonna beat me up? What did this world come to?
I didn't tell them to. I just know that's what they're gonna do.
Oh, you got some real nasty friends, then. You might want to be more careful who you hang out with.
Yeah. My mom always said that too.
All right, so everyone else rolls up at this point.
Thank you. I see you have found our friend.
Oh, that's your friend?
I know he's gonna. Yes, indeed. Afraid he didn't quite make the journey in.
Oh, yeah, it can be rough around old Krusty sometimes.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, he looks
going then.
All right, you take good care of yourself. Man, you were not wrong. Some of your friends, and he looks over at Junior. Some of your friends, they've come from a different cloth than you. And he pinches your bicep once again, just to make a point.
Ugh, out of character. Stop touching him. Make it hurt.
Mono is gonna motion for Ip to join the group.
All right. Well,
I walk over and join the group. Well, swim over and join the group.
I was gonna say, yeah, and he no longer has a hold of you, so that is easily enough done.
Well, thank you, friend, for rescuing our compatriot. Good meeting you.
Yeah, be careful. Enjoy the city.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you around.
Yeah, I still that offer for me to give you a tour, that's still open. If you need me, just ask around. Anybody out in the outskirts know Old Man Gumbo.
Much obliged. I'll take you up on that later.
All right. So he swims off.
Oh man, this spell has to be on willing creatures. I was gonna cast Web of Eyes on him so I could see where he goes afterwards.
Yep. Alright, so Dolphin immediately grabs you and is like, "Are you okay? Was he threatening you? Did he hurt you?"
He never outright threatened me, but he did imply that he was going to eat me.
Oh. Well, I don't think he would have actually done that. At least not if he took you inside of city limits. If he was trying to hurt you, he would have done that out there.
Well, maybe he's just a creep then. I was very close to casting Mimic Undead and make him think I was dead so he would leave me alone.
Yeah, not the worst idea. Well, I'm glad we made it back together. We were really worried. She leans over and, quietly is like, especially Mako.
I was spending my time during the interaction with Old Man Gumbo, like just giving him my best death glare, but now that he's gone, I'm gonna throw my arms around Ip and be like, "You were separated from the group. Next time we go on an adventure, I'm bringing rope. This is crazy."
Well, I'm safe. I don't think I was in any danger. Well, except, danger of being lost at sea.
Do you remember there being some quite stringent warnings about the folk who hang out around the peripheries?
Oh yeah.
You're saying it.
You definitely could have run into worse.
Yeah, did you not hear Dolphine? Like, somebody could have eaten you out there.
What?
And Sunbeam specifically told me to take care of you, and I thought I would have to be way more worried about that idiot Bird Bright.
Well, that's why Burn Bright's back on the ship, because if I wasn't here, it probably would have been him.
We cut back to Burn Bright, and he's lying on the ship, as promised, in his underwear, on his back, and Gur has set up a mirror so that he is getting horribly sunburnt while he sleeps.
Oh my god. Poor. Well, I would say poor Burn Bright, but this is kind of his own device, you know? No one told him to, chill in his underwear.
It's a base layer. It'll turn into tan.
Exactly.
All
right.
Well, Ip is going to pretend like nothing happened, and let's just get back to it. Yeah, Dolphine, where were we headed?
Well, we were discussing potentially trying to find an inn to spend the night since we didn't know how long we would be here. Obviously, we couldn't leave until we made sure that you were safe. So we could still do that. We could head to the bazaar and maybe do some trading. And then at some point, I need to go find my mother, but I can wait a little while if we don't want to do that first.
I'm excited to meet your mom.
Yeah, doesn't she think you're dead?
Well, I don't know. I suppose we'll find out, but yes.
She at least thinks you're missing.
Yeah. All right, well then we should head there immediately. She starts heading toward the center of the city. Ip, you notice at some point after, swimming a little ways, that your coin is gone.
Big surprise.
Old man Gumbo.
Man. All of my money in the whole world.
Well, unless you have any bits from your mother's.
I don't think I do.
All right. So, you travel along, and as you are traveling deeper into the city, you can see that the size and quality of the tents is, just becoming nicer and nicer. There's an area kind of about a quarter of the way toward the center of the city that seems to be a massive bazaar ringing the entire area. And below there is, finally actually some, bits of not foot space per se, but actual like ground area that is open, where the various shopkeepers have, put out their wares for display, and all of them are swimming to and fro, shouting out their wares and, attempting to attract sellers. The whole area is extremely loud and chaotic with the crush of individuals swimming around in all directions. And there are many strange and unusual goods that you've never seen before. There are various, edibles that you don't recognize in the least. Some of which are, very clearly, the meats of different creatures, a large variety of different fish and other aquatic life that has been butchered and prepared for eating, as well as strange plant-like growths in unusual kind of clumpy shapes. There's, vendors who are selling a variety of bright and shiny baubles, either made into necklaces or crowns or earrings or any other variety of shapes. In one area, you see something that is very unfamiliar to you. You can see There are metal. Well, it's not very unfamiliar. There are various metal objects being sold. Clearly, someone here has knowledge of blacksmithing and how to work metals. Though you don't see anyone actually doing it on the crab itself. So you don't see any like blacksmiths working metal on why am I blanking on it? Thing you drop on people in cartoons. Anvils, yes. You don't see anyone like working metal on anvils or anything like that. So you continue to travel past that unless anyone would like to stop in and check out any of the stalls. All right. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, do I sense anything magical coming from any of the stalls?
Oh yeah, all over the place.
I think, I think I'm going to go and investigate one of the shops selling metal things.
All right. So are you going for like jewelry, weapons, armor? What kind of metal things?
Probably jewelry. So I don't think Mononori has too much use for weapons. She's got her nails.
All right. So you swim down. I assume that you like tell the group and everyone's kind of going together. You're not just like going off on your own silently.
No, I'm gonna look at some of the shops down here.
Okay, yeah.
If that's all right.
Yeah, we should do that.
Whatever we do, let's stick together.
All right, so you swim down.
On ahead.
And
you find us a place to stay.
Are you actually splitting up?
No.
All right.
Well,
no. I was gonna say. All right. So you guys swim down, and there is a very rotund humanoid fish creature who is standing in front of the stall. Behind them are a variety of jewelry. There are belts and not scarves. Veils and crowns and earrings and bracelets and all kinds of baubles, all of which are adorned very regally in a variety of different colored jewels and metals, and they're shouting, "Get up for your lady! All ladies love the beautiful jewelry we got here. Hey, you there, lady!" And she points to Manawinui. "At least I think you're a lady. You want some jewelry? Look at these!" And it pulls out a couple of earrings hung with red gems. "These would look beautiful on your ears. I pierced them even for free if you're interested."
Have I seen people with pierced ears? Do I know what she's talking about?
You would. Most of the kind of jewelry that you had in terms of piercings would be basically like shove a bone through there kind of thing. So like, a bit of a stingray tail or something shoved through the ear, like that kind of piercing is something you would definitely have context for.
Okay.
Nothing quite this fancy though.
Yes. I'm gonna say something to the like of that, something like, "Whoa, so ornate, so different."
Oh, indeed, only the best craftsmanship ever gets sold at Miss Maribel's shop.
What is this? What is this redstone? Does it absorb blood?
Oh no, silly, that crazy talk. You wouldn't want something sucking the blood out of everything around you. These are rubies. They come from the deepest mines in the depths of the ocean over in the Mariana Crater. They was dug up with the sweat and blood and tears of the workers there who put their lives in danger to bring this kind of beauty to people.
So what do they do?
They sparkle and shimmer and shine. Look how pretty they is. She kind of like shakes them a little bit. This kind of thing that's just takes a beautiful rose like you and just makes it even better. You wouldn't be able to shake the men off with a stick if you had these. I don't know why she's slowly turning into old man Gumbo.
Wait a minute.
It's just old man Gumbo in a wig.
Oh, you have very interesting. Do I detect magic coming from any of the trinkets?
A few, but most of them seem to be normal jewelry. There seems to be a little section off to the side that has magical items, perhaps.
You said there's a section?
Yes, there's a section that is separate from all the others where you are detecting magic.
I'm gonna ask, what about those ones over there?
Oh, I see. You are interested in the magical side of things. Yes, I have some various magical items if you are interested.
I think I would be.
All right. Well, what are you looking for?
I don't want to know he's not interested.
Well, what do you have? What if I'm looking, like, is there just like every kind of jewelry over there?
There's some headbands, there's some rings. That seems like the most common item type would be rings. What else would there be? There's a couple wands. And then some are just kind of miscellaneous.
Then I inquire about the wands. What do those do?
Well, wands allow you to cast spells without having to use your own charges.
Oh.
See, like this here, and she holds up a blackened wooden wand. Its tip is still somehow smoldering even underwater and leaving a slight trail of steam behind it. And she says, well, you see, this wand would let you cast, what does it cast? Let's see. Okay. It casts a spell that creates a mist that prevents creatures from breathing in the area. Able to do that once per day.
What about that circlet? I want to point to one of like the tiaras.
So like a crown.
Headband. Yeah.
Okay. Headwear. Got it. Let's see. What kind of crowns are there? Ooh, these are all very expensive. Not something you would have any chance of being able to trade for.
Oh man, that pink lube. We haven't gotten that evaluated yet.
You and the pink lube.
It will save us all one day.
Well, I have this here, and she holds up a silvery looking metal crown. It's fairly plain looking, but it has etched across it various symbols. And she says, "This will give you the knowledge of an ancient language of Atlantis. You'll be able to speak their language, and you will understand much about their customs. You could even say it will give you a +1 item bonus to society checks." Also, I don't know why. Like, I need to stop going back into Old Man Gummo. It just keeps getting worse. It will
She's
give
just
you
also
a
an
plus
old
one.
Asian lady. That's fine. And
Sure.
his accent is honestly so good, you should reuse it. Like,
All
have
right.
you watched?
I'm not. I'm still getting like raspy old lady, not as much old man gumbo. So I think you're good.
Okay,
Old
cool.
Man Gumbo has a bit more warmth in his voice.
True. Yeah, this is more like Slug Lady from Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah.
I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski. Man, I can't wait until I rewatch this and I'm like, oh my god, please shut up, Thomas. I hate this every second of it.
No, that's what.
We gotta get you some self-love.
Da da da. Oh, if that's not interesting to you, maybe you'd be more interested in something like this. And she pulls out a pair of goggles. These are goggles of clarity, you see. They filter your surroundings from several slightly different angles at once, giving you a sharper picture of them. And they might even give you a +1 item bonus to visual perception checks.
LOL. How much? So, what would you be willing to trade for such a thing?
Oh, well, these would probably go for 4.5 or so platinum pieces.
Might I interest you, madame, in a very rare substance harvested from the ink sacs of a very rare kind of squid. This liquid has a variety of uses. I'm going to produce a canister of the pink lube.
Pull out the pink lube. Have you ever been lonely in the evenings?
Oh God.
So she's gonna look at it and kind of like squish it between two fingers. What'd you do to these poor squiddos? You just squeezed the lube out of them? For shame!
No, not at all.
It's
They sold it.
not even useful. It don't taste good. It don't got no good alchemical properties. Why you trying to sell me trash?
Well, if that's not your cup of tea, might I interest you? I have already forgotten what I brought.
You have an amulet or something, a medallion.
Yeah, you have some sort of medallion, and you also brought some bones of terrestrial creatures, which might be of interest to someone.
Yeah, well, maybe a jewelry maker. I'm gonna pop out those bones. There are bones of earth-dwelling creatures, or
Interesting. So she kind of grabs them and starts, like twirling one, or looking one around at various angles. I never have seen a skull quite like this.
like, here's some creature, I assure you.
Oh no, his teeth is pretty small to be a fearsome creature, really. But do tell me more.
Are these? I hit myself in the face. Is this something that Monoranui killed?
It's up to you.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about this beast. See, this soars through the air. diving upon small to medium-sized creatures all over the surface world.
What is this creature called?
I call it plot device to keep people from flying. No, I call it a no. That's a name. I call it a
pterodactyl.
It's a pterodactyl. Some people don't see the sound and they just say pterodactyl.
Oh yeah, you know when you pee, you gotta have a silent pee, right?
No, that's what some people think. I prefer the audible pee myself.
Well, this looks pretty good. Sweeten the deal maybe just a little bit, and I could see myself giving up these goggles for this.
Slowly with some pink lube in the other hand.
Go ahead and give me diplomacy.
All right.
Technically, probably should have made you. Well, I don't know. You did call it the right thing, and didn't technically lie about the pterodactyls.
Kill small to medium-sized creatures. Oh my gosh, I got a 30. Oh my gosh, that's a nat 20 because it's a plus 10.
All right, so she looks at it and kind of sniffs and goes, maybe I was a little too harsh about this pink lube of yours. I can think of a use or two for it. All right, you got yourself a deal, young missy.
Thank you very much.
All right. So feel free to add clarity goggles to your inventory.
Clarity goggles?
Correct.
Akalubu wants to look at, see if there's any magic earrings.
All right. So there, in fact, are magical earrings.
He is more interested in the appearance than necessarily what they actually do.
So are you actually looking at magical ones, or are you looking at just the earrings?
He does want a magical one, but I don't know. He figures most magic, any sort of magic is probably going to be useful, so.
All right, well, do you know which ones are magical? Because I don't think you have any way of knowing that.
Well, I assume he just followed Monoanui over to the magic section.
Okay, so you're just looking at the magical section. So yes, there are rings. Let's see. You're just looking by
the earring.
Technically, the item is going to be a ring because I don't see any earring items. So you're just going to have to put a ring in your ear.
I mean, that works.
But yeah, it'll be an earring in game. It's just physically, in the book, the rules wise. I was not seeing any earrings, so I'm sure there are some, but they don't have their own section. Now I can't find the rings section either. What the heck?
Quick aside for my notes, what did Monoanui just trade for?
Clarity goggles.
Goggles. Okay, thank you.
All right. So you see an earring that is it's even the right thing. Yeah, I guess. Okay. So you see an earring that has a frosty, kind of light blue colored gem that is set in silver. You see another one that is set in bronze that is an electric yellow.
Nice.
You see another one that is set in gold that has a fiery red ruby. And then you also see 2 earrings that seem to be a set together. One of them is an intricate gleaming gold with a square cut ruby, and the other one is a thick plain iron earring.
Ooh. Originally, Akalupu was just gonna look for one because he's only got one ear pierced. But the set of 2 is very interesting. 2. And you said that you would do free ear piercings with a purchase, correct?
So she whips out a small bone and says, "Indeed, I will." Quick little and it over. No pain, no muss, no fuss. Well, maybe a little pain, but you look like a big tough lad.
It gotta be better than when Mono Anui pierced my other ear. How much for this one? For these 2?
Well, normally this would be about half a platinum.
Well, would you be interested?
If only someone hadn't lost the platinum piece that you guys had.
Would you be interested?
Lost is not really what happened.
In a stone brought directly from the spirit realm. That
And,
is said to have talked in the spirit realm. And is fabled that it may even talk again if brought back to a spiritual enough location.
Oh, now that's rare indeed. So how can I be sure that this rock is from the spirit realm?
Well, it was brought by my father. And it has been a treasured family heirloom ever since.
Oh, can I see the rock in question?
I will produce the rock.
All right. Is this one of the talking rocks? Is this one of the marble rocks?
It's one of the talking rocks.
All right. So you hand it over, and she kind of like looks at it, and then actually pulls out, a weird like half a goggle. It's not both goggles. It's more like a monocle type thing. And examines it very closely, kind of like licks it and bites it a little bit. Oh, now this is different. Well, I think we have a deal.
Akalupu is going to take the series. Well, also kind of feeling like maybe he's not getting the best end of this deal. He feels like his work maybe worth more than just these earrings, but he's not socially brave enough to push the point because he's a little bit shell-shocked from being in the big city.
Oh yeah, now this is uncomfortable for everyone. Even like Mako, like Mako and Ip and Burnbright, in your minds, you were big city folk. But this is a whole other scale. You've realized that now you lived in a tiny little podunk village, in the middle of nowhere. In comparison. All right, sure. Go ahead and give yourself doubling rings. So technically, there normally are rings. I'll let you use them as earrings. That's fine. And what it does is when you wear the golden one, any fundamental runes on the weapon in that hand are duplicated onto the weapon in your other hand, which would be wearing the silver ring. So in this case, left ear, right ear, whatever order you put them in corresponds to left hand, right hand. And basically that means that like if you look at your weapon, let's pull up the Mahuatl. and you look at the runes that we gave it. Oh man, they really changed this UI. It looks way different. All right, so if you look under the gear customization, you can see the fundamental runes are that striking and weapon potency +1. Basically, you can hold your Maquatl in one hand, and then in the other hand, hold a different weapon, assuming you can't even wield the Maquatl in one hand, I forget. And the other weapon duplicates those two runes. So the striking gives it an extra die, I believe? Yes. Extra damage die, and the +1 gives it a +1 to hit and damage.
So those are just normal doubling rings, not doubling rings greater, right?
Yes, just normal doubling rings. So technically you could like hold your Maquatl in one hand and then beat someone to death with a stick in the other one. And it would do double the damage. Nice. So anyway, kind of neat. I don't know how useful it'll be for you.
They look cool.
Still a cool item.
Oh yeah.
Mono Inui's maybe a little hurt that you're taking the earrings she gave you out, but she's not gonna, not gonna say nothing.
Yeah, and she does indeed pierce your ear quite rapidly. Maybe not the most sanitary thing ever, having your ear pierced by a random lady with a bone needle under the ocean.
But it's instantly getting rinsed with salt water. I think that's good.
There you go. So anyway, but yeah, like she said, no muss, no fuss. She got it done quite rapidly, and you are good to go. All right, kind of a weird place to leave it, but we have been going for 2 hours. Do people want to wrap it up here or push a bit further?
I'm sleepy, not to be a party pooper.
All good. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up here, unless anyone else wants to do some last minute shopping, but we can always do that next time as well. So yeah, let's see. What did Mako learn?
That she comes from a podunk town, for sure. And does not do well when the party gets split.
All right, City Slicker thought she was your dad, didn't she?
She always overestimates herself.
Yeah,
But she's just a kid.
There you go. Yeah, most
she's
of the
gonna
group
be so
is
devastated when she finds out you guys killed her dad.
Right.
That's gonna be some soap opera shit.
Find that out.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very much interested to see if that gets found out and what happens. Alrighty. And what about Ip? What did he learn?
Ip learned that his friends were just gonna go about their day and not even care that he was with some, I don't know, criminal on the outskirts.
Well, legitimately, I don't know what they could have done other than wandering the outskirts to increase their odds of finding you in the ocean.
Mono Inui would jump into a freaking active volcano, but wouldn't go look in the ocean for his friend.
Mono Inui left a ginormous sigil and almost got eaten by a barnacle.
I did think that the rune was pretty quick thinking.
I didn't even see it.
Well, open your
We didn't
eyes,
do
okay?
nothing.
Well, I'm saying Ip learned that you guys would do nothing.
Well, Ip
'Cause he
didn't learn
doesn't
that
know.
because Ip was not there for that decision making. So you may have learned
Exactly.
that, but Ip didn't. So what did Ip learn?
That's what he's saying. Is
That's
that
what I'm saying. That I wasn't there, so I don't think that my friends did anything. Look, to me, it looked like they were just going about their day in the big city. Until I saw.
That's a conclusion you can make, I guess. I don't know. From Ip's perspective, I don't.
True.
Fair. If that's what you think he would have gotten out of that situation, that is fair. That is certainly not a conclusion that I think any of the evidence that Ip has available to him would bear out. But it's your character. All right.
He's just silently harboring resentment.
There you go. And next time you guys are stuck on a scientific breakthrough, see if he's going to ask the Great Mother for help. So there. All right. What about Junior? What did Junior learn?
Junior learned that he likes jewelry, and that there are actually some like underwater people that kind of put him to shame. Physiologically.
You were echoing quite a bit. Could you repeat that last bit after I mute Abe's mic? There we go.
That there are underwater people who put him to shame physiologically.
I don't know. Even that land shark guy, probably not quite as buff as you. Now, some of the mermaids might give them a bit of a run up for their money. I didn't really get into it much, but you one thing you would have noticed is that the mermaids have a bit of dimorphic physiologies, where some of them are more the size of a normal human, and some of the mermen are like 9 feet tall.
Nice.
So yeah, that's fair. All right, and finally, what did Mono Anui learn?
Mono Anui learned not to give in to peer pressure when it comes to pink lube.
That's right. It really paid off keeping that pink lube for 20 years.
Hey,
Do you have any left?
Find the right use. I don't know.
No, you've given all of your pink lube away to a fish lady.
Well,
there you go.
We'll find some more. We can always find some more.
That's right. You just gotta catch the right kind of squids again. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you all had a great game, and I will catch you all at the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.